So, welcome back again. For those who's just tuning in, you're listening to CKUT 90.3 FM. This is Radio Kapwa. Join here with me is Maria Kaluya, or also known as Laura, our sound engineer, and who's also jumping in and sharing their experiences with us today. And of course, my dear co host, Desiree Ruby. So, welcome everyone. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
Hey, get up now. I found a reason to live. Hey, get up now. I'm feeling like falling apart. Will it last and will I find beauty again in this life? 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 sa mundong ito. Para tayong mga ibon na lumilipad sa kahil na kalangitan, na walang ginagawa kundi ang magmahal. Madilim na buhay pa rin ang mundo, tulad ng pagmamahal ko sa'yo hindi na pupundi. Lumalapit, bumabalik sa'yo, sa'yo. Gusto kitang makasama buong gabi, nakahigang, nakaharap sa mga bituin. Hinihintay ang kinabukasan, tayong dalawa lang sa storyang ito. Sa mundong ito, ang ganda ng mga bituin, ngunit sa'yo, sa'yo lang ako nakatingin. Mga kilos mo ay aking nasisilayan, ako ba'y lumilipad na naman? Gusto kitang makasama buong gabi, nakahigang, nakaharap sa mga bituin. Hinihintay ang kinabukasan, tayo lang ba sa storyang ito? Pwede bang makasama ka kahit na sandali? Pwede bang makasama ka kahit di nakapikit? Kahit na di buong gabi, basta't hindi lang sa panaginip. Panaginip. Gusto kitang makasama buong gabi, nakahigang, nakaharap sa mga bituin. Hinihintay ang kinabukasan, ako lang pala sa storyang ito. Gusto kitang makasama buong gabi, nakahigang, nakaharap sa mga bituin. Hinihintay ang kinabukasan, ako lang pala sa storyang ito. We built to last for life. In this state of mind, live until we die. When you're all alone, remember where home is. I'm your boulevard. We fully control this. When you're all alone, remember where home is. I'm your boulevard. We fully control this. My sights not limited to present me and you. I live in the future. My brain, my heart doesn't use distance as excuse to find something new. When you're all alone, remember where home is. I'm your boulevard. We fully control this. When you're all alone, remember where home is. I'm your boulevard. We fully control this. When you're all alone, remember
Before we get to move forward and hop into the main content of this episode with Lorra, Desiree, and Veronica, you just listened to 3 songs. The first one was Beauty Again by Hikes, second was Panaginip by Iluna, and the third one was Home by Dylan Sinclair.
So we had like a very nice conversation, just feeling vulnerable in our previous episodes, and a lot of people really did appreciate that. I think this type of conversation is what's long overdue, and I honor my 2 hosts in here to like make yourself vulnerable for everyone else to hear and for everyone else to like unpack and decorticate whatever you were feeling. And I wanted to move forward with more conversations that keep on coming in from our previous broadcasting, which is the intention versus the impact of our actions, right? I have been vocal at the fact that my way of connecting back to my being Filipino is also consuming medias from the Philippines, and I consume a lot of audio drama because it's a thing in the Philippines where like there's audio drama happening, and these are submissions by a kapwa about their stories, and then people just acted up like voice actors acted, and I always find myself like so tense. I'm like, oh, why did you do that? You know, the actors are really great for making you feel like very mad. But the ongoing topic that I keep on hearing is that, and I want to address, is that intention versus impact, because there's a lot of this assumption in our culture. It's like, I know that Des loves smoothie with tapioca because I know her that much. That's how much I care about her. And there's a lot of assumptions and like reading people's mind And when you're not seeing the same, where you're not on the same page, your intention kind of differs, and that it impacts them differently. So I just want to use an example of, like, let's say in a relationship where someone was like, well, I bought this for you, this fancy social bag, because I remember last time we took a walk and you were staring it down. You're like, it would have been nice if I had that type of bag. And you bought it, but it's just you bought it 2 years later. You're not a la mode anymore, right? And then that caused a lot of like, well, you should be grateful. I worked so hard. I did a lot of OT to be able to purchase this bag, and then you're not even grateful. And then that causes like different power dynamics, because now you're being imposed to be grateful. Now you're having an utang na loob, right? So I wanted to bring this discussion forward, and what you think about the intention versus impact. I think it's like we always hear our parents being like, but I did this for you for your best, etc., etc. But like, did you ask me? Like that unsolicited actions that you have done for me, I am grateful, but it feels like I'm being asked, I'm being forced to feel grateful. When in reality, you never actually asked me what I think. You just thought for me and decided for me. So what y'all think?
That reminds me of a conversation I had with my mom when I told her that I wish I had more time with her. I wish we spent more time together. And she was like, I worked so hard to work and work and work. And I'm like, yes, thank you. And I'm so grateful that you were capable of keeping us afloat. But in some ways, I wish that you didn't always work. I wish that you were home more. I wish that I could spend more time, physical time with you. You know what I mean? And that, I guess that intention, the intention is to take care of me and be there for me and take care of me the way she believes is the right way to take care of me, which of course, that's what we were taught. And in some ways, the way I took it was, oh, she has to work all the time. Money is more important than me, even if that's not true. That she's doing this because she knows that in order for me to survive, it requires money. Yeah.
Under this sucky capitalist society.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So intention, I love this topic, intention versus impact. So just like Lorra, just to, if I may, like reflect on your story, it's like the intention that your mother had was protect or provide for my family, right? And the impact that she wanted to create, and that she did, I'm assuming, is like create. It's like so she can have a better life. I want my kids and my family. The impact is in her head is I want my kids to have a better life. But there's like so impact versus intention. But there's also like as you were speaking, Vero, there was consent and expectations that also came up for me. Because there's this, this expectation. I mean, Lorra, younger Lorra, current Lorra, you're like expecting, like, no, mom, I just want you to be here. I just want you to see me because you working makes me feel like money is more important than me, right? But and not necessarily, and with reason, not necessarily seeing where her intentions were and the impact that she was trying to create.
That's right.
And then with you, Vero, you had mentioned like, I didn't ask for this. Why are you like, why are you making me feel guilty? I didn't ask for this. So that's when the consent piece came up, because we have a tendency to just impose, like, I'm doing this for you because this is my intention. This is we're, if anything, we're like in this constant grind and hustle to survive is basically what it is, right? And we're forgetting. And then we have these intentions or these things that we have, or our parents have these things in their head where they're just like, keep my family safe, right? And my intention is to work hard so that everybody is safe. And there's expectation piece also.
Yeah, but like, when you have an expectation, then and that means that if the expectations are not met, then you feel like you are disappointed. Obviously, like that's the opposite side of the expectation. And as a person, you have this clear and pure intention, and you have all of this expectation that you have projected on these people, but they were never really part of this. You made this whole thing up.
Exactly.
Right?
The expectation was an assumption.
Exactly. And us coming from a community who were not really the best at communicating our feelings, this is how we have been unpacking from the last broadcasting, that like we're not great at communicating our feelings, right? So
therefore leaving us a lot of space for assumption.
Exactly. And then that assumption is seen as something that is like, oh well, Veronica likes good quality vanilla ice cream because I know her so well. Like it's a lot of like expectation that being projected on you when you were never really part of any of this thought thinking, right? And it's
Yeah.
not fair that not only I'm supposed to be grateful, but you never really ask me what I think. So again, we come back to having consent and how that impacts me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Laura.
I piggybacking off what Vero was saying, like if you know I really like green tea ice cream and I just ate a very, very big meal and I feel like vomiting, and you come to me with the ice cream, but you don't know I felt like vomiting, and you get mad at me that I don't take the ice cream because it's my favorite thing, and you
Mm.
expect me to be grateful, but I don't want to eat anymore. I'm sorry. Yes, it's my favorite thing, but I don't want it. And you get mad at me because I don't want to take it. That's not fair because you had an assumption of how I was going to react and you expected me to be this way and I wasn't. And you got angry about it for what? Was your intention to make me happy or to make yourself feel good that you got me something?
Hmm.
Oh.
Boom. Boom. Again, it's these expectations, right? You have this intent. My intention today is I'm gonna make Laura happy. So I'm gonna expect her to be happy when I buy her favorite thing. And then there's this, because I want her to have an amazing weekend and I want to show her love, right? And then I get to your house, you don't want the ice cream. And then again, going back to the feelings component of the conversation that we had on the last episode, it's then my automatic thought is anger, disappointment, frustration, right? But forgetting the impact, because the impact was make Laura happy, but then now the automatic thought that all of us, we're human and it comes, it happens, is you make it about yourself. But I'm mad, and how come you're not grateful? And how come, but I did all of this to make you happy,
Yeah.
and now you're not happy, and it's now about me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there is that projection of like my intention is to make Laura happy. She's going to be so happy because I went above and beyond. I took a
Yeah.
day off, and then it's very easy to project this and then find a scapegoat to blame and to dump all of these feelings, right? Because this conversation came up because we're talking about unpacking our feelings, and that's literally it. Like, you told yourself, I wanted to make Laura happy today. I brought this very yummy cake that I traveled, etc., etc. And it's not what you were expecting, and you made it about yourself when in reality it's literally like, well, you didn't tell me about this. I'm feeling under the weather. Actually, I don't think I can eat ice cream because I'm sick. And then you get mad towards me because you had a conversation with yourself about me, and like what is your intention again, and how is this impacting me at the moment, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to digest that rejection, right? I think in the Philippines as well, like I'm bringing it up because of in the romantic sense, like harana, and people are like torpe because they don't want to take that jump because they're afraid to be rejected. And because if they're rejected, then they don't know how to deal with these emotions because we were never taught how to regulate our emotions again. And so if we are never able to taught how to regulate our emotions, your intention towards Laura making her happy, and then she's not happy because she's sick, you lash out like a kid. Right?
Yeah.
Why? And like, I did it all for you. I'm like, okay, but like I'm sick. I can't eat ice cream, like it's a lot to unpack, and at the end of the day, it's all about regulating again your emotion.
Yes.
How do you deal with rejection, right? And I think a lot of people fear feeling rejection when in reality you just have to go through it, and then you'll get better. It's like a practice. You'll get better and better and better receiving rejection. At the end of the day, it's emotion, and you have to honor that emotion that you felt rejected, and it's okay to feel hurt about it. But to expect people that utang, and you're getting that utang back when I never did utang to you, and now I have this invisible debts from within, like, we need to reassess back in here.
Yeah. Could we say that this also plays into like you not like being intentional with yourself in the fact that like you're trying to get someone else a gift and you're going above and beyond, but not knowing that this above and beyond has a limit in a sense where if this person reacts a certain way, my above and beyond, like I'm doing it with a price now. You know what I mean?
I have learned, and again, there's this book, The Four Agreements, and I forget who the author is, but I think it's Miguel something Ruiz, same last name. An amazing, amazing author, and his four agreements. Basically, it's like the four agreements to like a peaceful life, right? And one of those agreements, and this book is like a Bible in my house, and it's like super simple. Like I think I was telling you about this, Laura, in the car ride. And one of the agreements is not to take anything personal, right? Because what is it? It's like you come in with this intention. It's like, I want to do good. I want to be good. I want to be the people pleaser. I want people to like see me, be happy, make people happy, show them that I love them. But then if they don't respond the way that you're expecting them to respond, you therefore take it personal, and then it downward spirals into and then you react with reason. But because we come from a culture that's not taught to manage our emotions and manage rejection. It's, I'm going to talk about rejection after, but manage our emotions. We take things personal, and then we make it about me, whereas the initial intention was supposed to be about somebody else. So
It
then
destabilizes.
we are quick to make it about ourselves. So like, highly suggest that book again. And the suggestion is, don't take anything personal. And it's also like, there's also one about expectations, because it's like me seeing something and being like, oh my God, Vero would love this mug. And it's like, hey, Vero, you love this mug. And I'm expecting you to be like, oh my God, it's the most beautiful mug ever. But then you're like, oh, thanks. And that
Like, I got a lot of mugs already, but thanks,
right,
like.
I no longer, I'm like, that's cool. It activated me. It made me happy, made me think of it didn't stimulate the same joy for her. That's cool. But I still want her to have this because it made it, I want Vero to have this because it made me think of Vero. So that's period. Cut it. But what happens is we're so attached to the outcome. We're so attached to wanting to be seen, to people please, to be validated, right? Which leads me to rejection. I was part of a sales course, and like, rejection is hard, right? To sell, to reach out to people, to outreach is not easy. Pretty easy for you, Vero. You're really good at that. But it's not it's a skill that that's learned, right? And as we unpacked rejection in this course, they put us on a rejection challenge basically, and they said, make 50 asks where the probability of you being rejected are really, really high. Like literally go to a grocery store and wait in line and be like, hey, can you pay for my groceries? Or go to a bar and be like, hey, can you buy me a drink? Or can you buy me a drink? Literally, like, position yourself look at your body language. Laura's like, oh, and Vero's like not even moving. She's not even budging. For her, it's like, because it's like, and what came up was a lot of people were like, I can't do that. I can't say that. And then when you unpack, it's like, why are you so afraid of rejection? Because
you're
if you're
ashamed.
you're ashamed. I'm gonna be known as like a cheesy salesperson. I'm gonna be known as like distrustful. I'm gonna be seen as a horrible person. Like to catch your auto. Look at Laura's visceral reactions. To catch your automatic thoughts. But again, this ties into the topic, which is intention, impact, and that's why I had added consent and expectations too, right? Because so the expectation is everyone that I ask has to say yes, but that is like setting yourself up for disaster, right? Versus like, just ask, and like, don't take it personal. Don't attach yourself to it. Don't expect the outcome, right? So I'm going to add income, input, intention. No, what was the intention?
Intention versus impact.
Intention versus impact. But so part of that is not to take things personal, and there's nothing wrong with rejection and the feelings that come up with rejection, right?
It's fine. We get rejected so many times. Like, I'm so immune to it. Like, I think it's because I also attempt a lot. Like, can I? No. No. Okay, fine. I tried. Like, it's.
But you see, that's the opposite for me. For me, it's like I would never ask, and like just to even ask, I get sweats. Less now, but like I'll sweat. Yeah, I'll sweat, and then I might cry, and because it was always a no. It was always a no. It was always, I'm asking for too much. And again, there's so many times in my adult life where I would be in like lawyers' offices for certain situations and deals, and I would want to cry because there would be emotions, didn't know how to say it with my throat, so crying was easier, right? And it's like, and I would feel, that's not fair, I have to say something, but the voice would be like, but you can't say that, you have to be grateful, for what you are getting, and you have to be grateful
Mhm.
for, you have to be grateful for this opportunity. Whereas that voice, that volume on that is a little bit lower. And now I'm like, screw that. This is what, like, I'm channeling some of Vero energy in me. That is not something that's not something that has been automatic, And again, I'm gonna throw it back to my kid, raising a 9-year-old, very outspoken, child, seeing her, like, I'm trying to channel my kid's energy, if anything.
Mhm.
Like, she goes in and she's like, no, mommy, I have boundaries. Her friends come over and she's like, and I had told her, I said, your friends come over, you tell them what they can play with, what they can't play with. You set your own boundaries. So she's like, okay, you're allowed to go here. You're not allowed to do this. Don't touch this. Don't. Whereas when I was growing up, it was a free for all. And then
Mhm.
I'd feel violated to a certain, I remember it's
Yeah.
like, I didn't want you to play with that, but my parents would be like, oh, but just be nice.
It's
Go do
okay.
that. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. So it's all intertwined. It's all intertwined. Um,
How are we doing with that one? Unpacking and intention and being called in. At this point, it's like I don't want to call it calling out. Um, I'm calling people in to digest the feelings.
That's beautiful.
Um, because I grew up being rejected, and I just took it like, okay, well, I tried. Like my mentality is like, I tried and it's okay. Like I'll just go ask another person, and it's okay. I move on, but hearing people with anxiety, and Matilda was
Mm.
like, well, it's because you don't have any anxiety and you talk to people. You literally talk to people in the metro. That is true. I talk to people in the metro. I'd be like, your jacket's nice. I like it. Like that's
oh,
that's that's who I am as a person. So it also comes down with comfort level and confidence. And how do I regulate feeling being rejected? So I opened it up to one last comment. I know that Laura, you were like nodding here and there. I felt like you were feeling called in. So one last comments before we bid
Oh,
adieu to our dear listeners, and don't take it personally. And if you do feel some sort of like negative emotion, find ways to let it out. Find the tools to let it out. But honor your feelings.
honor your feelings. That is 100%. It is honor your feelings. Is your feelings is your body telling you something.
Mm-hmm.
So look into that. It's important.
Yeah.
Don't try to push it away. Don't try to brush it off. These feelings are something, they come from somewhere, and understanding them is key.
There you go, my dear listeners. Des, you wanted to add one last thing? No?
I just wanted to say, boom.
Exactly. Like it's a part of you, and just having, like I told you, like I have my relationship within myself of like, Veronica, how you feeling today? Like last Friday I was really feeling upset with what's happening with the refugee crisis. And I'm just like, no, I won't be on Instagram. I will just be sitting down. I'll order fried chicken because I'm feeling very upset. And the only thing that can make me feel better is to feed myself at this point. Feed myself with whatever I'm craving for because I can't do shit. Sometimes the acceptance of like it sucks, you're angry, and you just have to honor that. And that's the best thing that you can do so that it's not being bolted in, and I don't bring this energy with myself. And knowing me, I would like to be able to provide the best service as much as possible to my clients. And if I'm already feeling upset because of what's happening down the border, and then translating to my work, then I won't be proud of my work. And I think it's also important to honor being proud of your work and having an impact. Like your impact, your intention, and your impact aligns. Like, so I always try to make that assessment of like, my intention is to help these people get their immigration status in order, but also how am I impacting them, right? It's the intentions of bringing like watercolor for the children.
And that brings us to, I mean, the conversation of either pain is transformed or transferred, which is my final statement that maybe we'll talk about in another episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed our episode of Radyo Kapwa today. We did another conversation. Let us know if this is something you enjoy, and let us know if there are other Filipinx artists, people, leaders that you want to have on this show that we can reach out to and speak to and interview and get the opinions of too. We'd love to have these conversations with other Kapwa. So reach out and let us know. Thank you so much once again, and we'll see you. Oh, you'll hear us next week.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Marvin Reyes. I am a youth leader and a community organizer here bringing you important news back home in the Philippines. The article is from the NPR with the title, Live Easter Reenactments Resume in the Philippines After or Despite Catholic Church Objections. 8 Filipinos were nailed to crosses to reenact Jesus Christ's suffering in a gory Good Friday tradition that draws thousands of devotees and tourists to the Philippines despite being rejected by the Catholic Church. The real-life crucifixions in the farming village of San Pedro Cutud in Pampanga province north of Manila resumes after a 3-year pause due to the coronavirus pandemic. About a dozen villagers registered but only 8 men participated, including 62-year-old sign painter Ruben Enaje, who was nailed to a wooden cross for the 34th time in San Pedro Cutud. In a news conference shortly after the brief crucifixion, Enaje said he prayed for the eradication of the COVID-19 pandemic and the end of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has contributed to gas and food prices soaring worldwide. The father of 4 said he wanted to end his extraordinary penitence because of his age, but would decide with finally before Lent next year. While the pain from the nailing was not as intense as anticipated, he said he always felt edgy before each crucifixion. To be honest, I always feel nervous because I could end up dead on the cross, he told the Associated Press before Friday's kneeling. When I'm laid down on the cross, my body begins to feel cold, he said. When my hands are tied, I just close my eyes and tell myself, I can do this, I can do this. Surviving nearly unscathed when he fell from a 3-story building in 1985 prompted Enaje to undergo the ordeal as a thanksgiving for what he considered a miracle. He extended the ritual after loved ones recovered from serious illnesses, one after another, turning him into a village celebrity as the Christ in the Lenten reenactment of the ways of the cross. Ahead of their crucifixion on a dusty hill, Enaje and the other devotees, wearing thorny crowns of twigs, carried heavy wooden crosses on their backs for more than a kilometer in the scorching heat. Village actors dressed as Roman centurions later hammered 4-inch or 10-centimeter stainless steel nails through his palms and feet, then sat him aloft on a cross under the sun for about 10 minutes. Other penitents walked barefoot through village streets and beat their bare back with sharp bamboo sticks and pieces of wood. Some participants in the past opened cuts in the penitents' backs using broken glass to ensure the ritual was sufficiently bloody. The gruesome spectacle reflects the Philippines' unique brand of Catholicism, which merges church traditions with folk superstitions. Many of the mostly impoverished penitents undergo the ritual to atone for sins, pray for the sick for a better life, and give thanks to miracles. Church leaders in the Philippines have frowned on the crucifixions, saying Filipinos can show their deep faith and religious devotion without hurting themselves and by doing charity work instead, such as donating blood. Robert Reyes, a prominent Catholic priest and human rights activist in the country, said the bloody rites reflect the church failure to fully educate many Filipinos in Christian tenets, leaving them on their own to explore personal ways of seeking divine help for all sorts of maladies. Folk Catholicism has been deeply entrenched in the local religious culture, Reyes said, citing a chaotic procession of a black statue of Jesus Christ called the Black Nazarene each January, which authorities say draw more than 1 million devotees each year in one of the age's largest religious festivals. Many bring towels to be wiped on the wooden statue, believing it has powers to cure ailments and ensure good health and a better life. The question is, where were we church people when they started doing this? Reyes asked, saying the clergy should immerse itself in communities more and converse regularly with villagers. If we judge them, we'll just alienate them. Organizers said more than 15,000 foreign and Filipino tourists and devotees gathered for the cross nailings in Cutud and 2 other nearby villages. There was a festive air as villagers peddled bottled water, hats, food, and religious items, and police and marshals kept order. In the past, Garrett said tourists were genuinely inspired, and I think they left with a newfound respect for people's beliefs. It's just these two countries involved in the war, Russia and Ukraine, but all of us are being affected, said Inahe, who appeared to be well and showed his two bandaged hands to journalists. The article was published on April 7, 2023. Thank you so much for listening. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Once again, this is John Marvin Reyes, delivering you Philippine news from abroad.
That's all for our news segment for now. We'll be back next week with more updates on the latest happenings in the Philippines. It's time to take a break and enjoy some great music. Let's switch up gears, turn up the volume. We've got a fantastic selection of songs up next, guaranteed to get you grooving and moving.
I should have expected it always starts this way. I get caught up in imagining how they'll care for me down the road, bitch. It was never there, but I could spin a glance into a full-blown romance. Break a feminine perfection sword. Fuck myself holding projections core. And if you leave them, I'ma probably let you down. You know it's rare that I would feel my toes, even about to grace the ground. Think I put you in a tailspin too. Take it easy, a few more lives ahead of you. Damn, I need to think 12 months from now. That's why I'm always grabbing on to hollow bounds, expecting them to take the weight of all of the links we young round. Pleasure would it be mine if we spent just 4 more days in the mountains? And I swear to God it's not okay. I was never meant to love you. Glad that I can say it's out of our hands. I think of you from far away. Thought that we were cool, the time zones might prove it too tough to stay up. There's morality to rule with. Guess it don't mean much. The white man's got say don't touch. Disavow that shit. Our ancestors didn't go through it for us to keep it calm in the time of cholera. But your promises of faith, like ain't no faith. Me now I want fuck again, don't close while she's in bed. Say she's a freak like you, but I still want back here soon. Don't know about decent men no more, just want transparency. And sure, I want the details, cause your tale could be mine too. Even if the world was spinning regularly, I still would be distantly chasing the flies, wishing your booty. I just want a love to come on to, though the home itself's uncertain. Boom, as the grasp of gravity ensues. Wish I could mail the cesty. Pleasure would it be mine if we spent just 4 more days in the mountains? And I swear to God it's not okay. I was never meant to love them. Glad that I could say it's out of our hands. I think that you're from far away.
offended by the way we fell for each other. Don't wanna play this game. Already I've done it before. This time if I fall in love with you, I wanna keep control. Yeah, yeah, baby, I need to take it slow. 'Cause I've already told you I'm not ready to go. Boy, you need to slow down. Baby, boy, you need to slow down. Boy, you need to slow down. Boy, you need to slow down. Boy, you need to, baby, boy,
You just listened to 3 songs. First up was Huali with 4 More Days. Second was Ohiana with Slow Down. And thirdly, Zigaz with Sans Toi. Thank you so much once again for tuning into Radio Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. We're on every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. As we get to the end of every episode, we say listen closely to this week's community announcements. This Friday, April 14th, the Filipino organization of Concordia University, Focus, is hosting a car karaoke at Reggie's Bar from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. If you wish to sing your hearts out, this is your chance. For more details, you can reach out to their Instagram at Focus Concordia. Moreover, Focus is also looking for volunteers for their upcoming festival taking place on June 2nd and 3rd. All the information is available on their Instagram at Focus Concordia. For this upcoming Saturday, April 15th, many events are taking place. First of all, if you've not signed up yet, Kapwa Walk will be taking place at 10 p.m. We'll be exploring Shaughnessy Village. Meetup place will be at Squaw Cabot Park from Metro Atwater. As usual, we're always grateful to have Dre's support for providing snacks for our walk. Sign up now by checking out our Centre Kapwa Instagram at Centre Kapwa, where you can find the link to Eventbrite. On the same day, starting at 4 p.m., École Sans Police MTL and Head in Hands are hosting a town hall on racism and policing in CDN and DG schools. It will be held at Chalet Kent. For more information, check out their Instagram at Chalet Kent or École Sans Police. Up next, Nouveau Théâtre Musical is hosting a fundraising for their upcoming show, Rent, where our dear Lorra will take part as Mimi. The fundraising show will take place at Bar Le Cocktail from 7 p.m. onwards. This is your chance to meet the cast and support their work. For more information, please visit their Instagram at NUVOMT. If you cannot attend but wish to support, financially you can send them an e-transfer at NUVOTHEATRE, that's Nouveau Théâtre at gmail.com, using Rent as the password. Rent is the password. If you've been looking to support BIPOC artists and their art, head over at Brick and Brick, located at 633 Beaumont Avenue from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. It is the 1-year anniversary of BIPOC QT Market presented by Rising from Our Roots. For more information, you can visit one of the vendors' Instagram post at CCHARLY_art, who is also a dear friend of Veronica. And on Monday, April 17th, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Turbo House, located at 2040 St. Denis Street, Head in Hands, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Law Clinic, are hosting a Resto and Bar Workers Know Your Rights event. Visit the Instagram to sign up at head_hands. Lastly, the Black Community Resource Center, BCRC, is looking to conduct a youth research mentorship program focusing on well-being in the state of Quebec's English-speaking Black community in Montreal. If you are over the age of 18 years old, have visited a doctor, hospital, or walk-in clinic as a patient or companion, and identify as Black and English-speaking, BCRC needs you. If you're interested, you can visit their Instagram at BCRC Montreal. That's BCRC MTL. That is all for community announcements on Radio Kapwa this week. Thanks for tuning in to our community radio show. We really hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. As a community-focused program, we always strive to provide you with valuable information, inspiring stories, and great music. We want to thank all of our guests and contributors who share their expertise and experience with us. And of course, a big thanks to our listeners for your support and engagement. We love hearing from you, so feel free to share your feedback, ideas, and suggestions with us. We also post these episodes on YouTube so you can watch them later. And we'll be back next week with some more exciting stuff. So make sure to tune in. Until then, stay safe, stay curious, and stay connected with your community.